And I can say, hey, we're back. Obviously, we took a break, but we're back. And now we're going to finally count down our top 5 franchises each. You want me to go first on my number 5? Or do you
Go
want to
ahead.
go first? I'll go first on my number 5. My first on number 5 is Nightmare on Elm Street. It's
Not
my
surprised.
first on my franchises.
I
The
am
reason
a
why
little
it,
surprised, but I'm not
that
surprised.
it's not as high,
Yeah.
or I mean, you thought it was going to be lower than that? Yeah.
No, I thought it was going to be,
Well,
closer to the top.
yeah. And I understand that because I'm a diehard Freddy fan. He's what got me into horror. He's what led me to my friendships and relationships with many people and stuff like that.
Was it your grandpa that you got to watch Freddy for the first time with?
Yeah. When I was a kid, and I was terrified of him ever since then. Did not find a love for Freddy until high school, to where I was old enough to where I thought I was Billy Badass. I'm like, okay, I can handle it now. As a kid, though, could not handle Freddy whatsoever. But I love the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise because I mean, one was
they did in those early movies, like some of those practical effects that they did, like insane,
incredible for their time, and they still look good. Some of them still look very good for their time. But yeah, I mean, and that's why Freddy's franchise will always be in my top 5 because it scared the fuck out of me. And that's why I avoided it until high school, from when I thought I was old enough and brave enough to take it home. Because I remember my brother's birthday, Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare in 3D was playing in theaters. And I would not go watch it. So my mom had to take my brother and his friends to go watch Freddy's Dead, and my dad had to take me to Suburban Commando, starring Hulk Hogan. To another screen. Yeah, that's how scared I was of Freddy. But then I got older and I loved Freddy. But the reason why it's not even higher than it is, though, is because Freddy 1 or Elm Street 1 and Elm Street 3, both masterpieces. I can never decide which of the two is my favorite out of the whole franchise.
Fair enough.
Both of them are amazing. 2, though, was like off for me. Like that's not Freddy. Like Freddy's fingers, his knives don't come out of his fingers and stuff like that.
Okay. So 1 and 3 are your code number 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I can never tell you exactly which one is my absolute favorite of the 2. 6 I thought was great.
Was it 1 or 3 that like he's walking down the alley and he's like got his arms all completely?
That's 1. That's 1. Okay. Yeah. Down the alleyway. Yeah.
I think that one's my favorite.
You like that one? Yeah, that's the OG one. Well, then in part 3, that's when he started being more vocal and adding more humor to it and stuff like that. But it's a perfect balance of the horror and humor, and that's what was amazing.
Right.
4, they started leaning into the humor, but they also did horror. 5, Dream Child, the whole reborn Freddy and stuff like that. Part 6, Freddy's Dead, hilarious. People hate that one because it was just straight comedy. There was nothing horror about it. It was just straight comedy.
Yeah,
with Breckenmeyer and
some of the horror franchises kind of like they're just trying to pump movies out, and they just kind of there's just
and
some
I don't
movies
blame them for changing it up, like because you don't
Right.
want to do the same thing over and over and over, so they try something different.
But you never know what's gonna like some of the horror franchises kind of just throw it up against the wall and see what sticks.
Right. But then we got Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which is kind of like a twist on it, but with a more modern day edge and made it more realistic. It was a perfect precursor to Scream, to where they blended movies and reality together. You know.
Yep.
Which is fucking beautiful. And then Freddy vs. Jason, they say that Freddy vs. Jason counts as both a Freddy movie and a Jason movie, which I'm okay with.
It does.
And it involves both of them, and they're both equally murdering people and stuff like that.
How did you feel about
Freddy vs. Jason? I absolutely love. Freddy vs. Jason is my favorite Jason movie. That should tell you how much I don't give a shit about Jason. I mean, I like a lot of his movies. Like Part 6 was amazing. Part 7 was.
I thought 3 was your favorite one.
No, that's just the introduction of the fucking mask.
No, 3 wasn't 3 Season of the Witch.
No, that's Halloween, not Friday the 13th.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Good grief. You still have some training to do, young Padawan.
Hey, but I knew what I was thinking. Listen to what I think, not what I mean, not what I say.
As you have trouble even saying
it. Right. Listen to what I mean, not what I say, is what I usually say.
Freddy vs. Jason is my number one Friday the 13th movie, so we don't have to worry about doing an episode on Friday the 13th because I already revealed my answer. But
yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, that brought me into the horror world. It brought me into the horror community. It brought me to meeting so many awesome friends and some fun ass enemies. But
and at the end of the day, the horror community is so amazing. Like
they are like
I
outside of the horror community will shit on the horror community because they think there were a bunch of weird, scary people that have murder on their brains. No, they're easily the nicest people you ever meet in your life.
But like you brought me into the horror community. What was that?
In 2019.
19. And I met people, and that I still talk to this day. It's just like some of the people I consider my best friends that I only get to see once a year. All right. Well, so I will give my number 5. So the main reason for this movie, like this is the first, so Jurassic Park, the original movie, the first movie I ever saw in theater.
No shit.
Correct. Accurate.
Wow.
Like that is the first movie I ever saw in a movie. First movie I ever saw in a theater. And
your parents didn't even like movie theaters then, apparently.
Well, I mean, I was pretty young whenever Jurassic Park came out. What was that, 93?
93. No, yeah, it's either 93 or 94.
Like, I mean, I was 9 or 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, the movie itself is... at the time, I loved dinosaurs. So we get in there, and I'll tell you what, the look... So, whenever what's the guy that wears the archaeologist that... archaeologist comes in with Laura Dern. What's the other guy's actor's name? Not actor. What's his character's name? Either way, Sam Neill. He.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like, whenever they land on the island and they're driving by and they see the brontosauruses for the first time, and he's like, his reaction. Could you imagine seeing an actual dinosaur for the first time?
When you're obsessed with prehistoric shit like that, and then you get to see that, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I can understand that.
I feel like they threw just enough comedic relief into it, but like you got Samuel L. Jackson, you got it's the whole movie.
I always forget Sam Jackson was in the first fucking movie. Did you see the deleted scene where he actually got attacked? It's like in the original movie, we only see his arm removed. He actually got attacked in the deleted scenes.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to go watch that. But like, yeah, like there's so many little quotes from that movie, like "Hold on to your butts."
Right.
And then whenever the
Lost World was
when the fat guy is sitting there,
yeah, with this shaving cream can.
Right. Well, when they're sitting there at the little restaurant, and he's like, "Don't use my name." Hey, we got so and so here. We got.
See, nobody cares. Nobody cares. That's a popular meme these days, which makes sense.
Yeah. But then, like,
my brother shares that in my comments all the time. Nobody cares what you had to say, Andrew. Okay.
And I don't remember if it's the best. I don't remember if it's the second one or the third one that people just hated. But I have not seen a Jurassic Park or Jurassic World that I didn't just pretty much like or love.
That's the thing. I liked every Freddy movie, but there's ones that are lesser than the other ones.
Correct.
So let me ask you this. Okay, compare Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Because Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom kind of sucks. I mean, not sucks, but it should have been a lot better than it was.
What I did not like about Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, what I didn't like about Fallen Kingdom was they had so much opportunity to put dinosaurs in the real world, and they just didn't really make dinosaurs the priority of the movie.
All right.
Like they were a secondary story of the movie. Like that was the one downside I would say about that movie.
Fallen Kingdom, that was the one that had all of them come back, right?
Yes.
Okay. There was 3 Jurassic World movies, wasn't there? Or was there 2?
Yeah. 2 trilogies.
So there's 6 of them all together right now? Right. There's part 7 coming out next year, Rebirth. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Starring Scarlett Johansson.
I'm going to be watching. Ooh. Black Widow herself.
He said, ooh. No, they're damn near done filming it. Like, I think it's about to hit post-production. But it's called Rebirth, so I'm like, are they rebooting the franchise? Or are they going to still continue on with the current?
Well, see, I don't want them to reboot, but I wouldn't be disappointed if they did like a...
See, because the last 2 Jurassic Worlds, the very last one where we were excited about because we had all the originals and the new ones in together.
There wasn't enough dinosaurs in that one.
They fucked that one up somehow. Yeah.
All right. So my number 4 franchise is going to be American Pie.
Did not see that one coming at all.
I know. So the big thing for that one, like it was and
that ranks above Jurassic Park.
It does. So American Pie, yes, the last 4 or 5 movies of it were awful, but it started coming out whenever I was just going from high school to college, and so all those college comedy movies were huge for me. Like I literally own physical media of every single American Pie movie that I'm aware of that's ever been made.
I do.
As soon as it came out, I bought it and I watched it, and so you got the best ones are obviously American Pie, American Pie 2, American Pie 3, and American Wedding. Or no,
it's just American Pie 1 and 2, and then American Wedding.
Yeah.
So you have the trilogy, then you have the spinoffs. So
hold on. American Wedding. Wedding came out.
Well, I count it as a franchise, but I'm going against your word.
So American Wedding came out after The Book of Love, The Naked Mile. Like there was some what were probably more like made for TV movies that came out between American Pie 2 and American Wedding. But I think they realized that they needed to get the original crew back together for American Wedding. And I enjoyed every single one of them. Like, yes, there's a lot of bad things you can say about some of them, but I enjoyed every single one of them.
So what's your favorite after the actual like trilogy of them? Which one do you like?
Probably there was also Beta House. I forgot about that one.
I wish I could give a name, but I can't remember which one's which. But I did enjoy one of them after the initial 3.
I believe the one that the Book of Love was not my.
Oh no, wait, there's an original franchise because you also had American Reunion. They did that.
Yes. So my
it's
least
even a franchise without the fucking straight to DVD ones. Sorry, I didn't mean.
So my least favorite one is The Book of Love. in the entire franchise. But if we're talking outside of the
Book of Love,
outside of the original cast, I think the movies outside of the original cast, I think probably The Naked Mile was my favorite one.
Naked Mile was fun. Where they had to do the big college fucking run, and stuff. That was pretty good. And Stifler's cousin looked exactly like Stifler.
Right.
Like he looked just like Sean William Scott.
See, Beta House was pretty fun too because they had this contest or whatever, and one of the competitions was they had like 6 girls lined up in bras, and you had to go through and one-handedly undo every bra. The first person to finish won the game.
Damn. Joey from Friends would have won that motherfucker.
Well, and what's funny is like the Stifler in that movie was pretty good at it, but like the other guy from the not the Goat House or whatever was right. he was beating him, and then he got to the end and it was like a 3-prong bra, and he's like, I've never seen a 3-prong bra. I don't know how to do this. So then the Stifler guy comes back and just whoop, winner. I just loved all those movies.
Wow, I didn't expect American Pie to even be ranked above Jurassic Park or even being in the top 5. You surprised me, sir. You surprised me. My number 4 is it's all about family, Dom. Fast and the Furious, baby.
The way you've talked about that series, I'm a little surprised it's number 4.
Oh, because you thought it'd be higher. Because you know I love that franchise. I love that franchise. Well, because it's crazy. Because it meets where, like, well, I mean, like, starting out, it's just, street racing, and we're gonna steal some VCRs and stuff like that. And then it grew into this. We're gonna save the world and do some crazy shit.
I'll be honest with you. The first 4 or 5 movies of those, I loved them. Loved them to death. And then, like, whenever they came out with the 7th one, I was like, this has to be the last one. So I bought that little wheel thing that has all 7 movies.
Yeah, I've got that too.
I know.
Yeah, I've got that.
I bought that. Like, man, this has to be the last one. They've made like 5 since then.
Now, the wheel has the first 8. So you had the first 8. No, you had the first 7. You have the first 7.
No, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it's 7.
Yeah, it's 7. No, you had the first 7. That's right. I had to buy the 8 individually. Haven't bought 9 yet because 9 was a piece of shit, and that's why it's not higher than it is. Because 9 sucks my fucking cock.
Well, now they have. Is that the one they went to space then?
They have 11 because they have a spinoff. They have Hobbs and Shaw.
They have Hobbs and Shaw, yeah.
The Rock and Jason Statham, and that movie sucked my balls too. But the reason why I love this franchise is because, one, it goes into my wheelhouse of just popcorn flicks. Like I was talking about Boy Kills World. I just like click your brain off and just fucking kick back and relax and enjoy some fucking crazy shit on a screen.
Okay.
And they do that. Fast 5, I think, is the second greatest action film of all time underneath Terminator 2.
I don't disagree. Fast 5 was really good.
It is so fucking good. And it was still good after that for 6 and 7. I mean, we bring in Jason Statham. Oi, mate, we gone. Yeah.
And then you bring in The Rock.
Well, The Rock was in Fast 5. We didn't bring in Jason Statham until part 6. Right. We brought in Jason Statham in part 7 because we killed his brother in part 6. And then we brought in Jason Statham in part 7. Oi, Vin, you don't know me, but I'm gonna kill you. And it's just But then the reason why it's not higher is because then Fast 9 came out. And I was super excited for Fast 9 because we're going in outer space, baby. We're going in outer space.
How do you drive a car in outer space?
They figured it out. They figured it out. They gave you the sign.
I mean, not realistically, but they figured it out. I get it.
The Fast and Furious franchise has been realistic since Tokyo Drift. Not even Fast and Furious with Vin when Vin came back.
Like when they drive underneath the truck. There's no car that's gonna.
I mean, that was in part one. That was in part one.
I know.
So, what is it fucking? I think the main attraction, because like, it's safe to say my favorite genre is action. Maybe it's action / sci-fi.
I'm in that same boat because when it comes to action, like I love action, I love sci-fi, and when they combine those two, I'm gonna be pretty much not hard to please if you got action and sci-fi in it. But when you mix Fast and Furious going to space, that's not sci-fi. That's not action.
That wasn't when they jumped the shark, though. That wasn't when they jumped the shark, though. They jumped the shark in fucking part 5. Or no, part 6. Either way, I mean, they definitely jumped the shark. According to you, they jumped the shark in part 1 because they drove underneath the goddamn truck.
Well, I know. Like, it's not that I didn't like.
But then when you have Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez colliding above an overpass,
right.
He said, "I love it," because it's all about family, Dom. It's all about family, and that's the main reason why I love it. It's not even the action; it's just the amount of love. I think it was
whenever Dom lost his memory for something, like that's when they started. It's like no,
Letty lost her memory, not Dom.
But I think one of them that he lost his too.
Mm-mm.
No, okay, well, whenever they started doing the memory loss things, I was just like, all right.
They did that with Letty because she was dead. She died in 4, but she came back in 6.
Yeah.
And then they also brought back Han because of a magic show, and then they brought back the Wonder Woman. Oh, I know, it's a very convoluted fucking mess. I get it. I fucking get it.
Well, it's one of your favorite franchises, so I expect you to.
But the reason why it's number 4, that's the reason why it's even ranked over fucking Freddy Krueger, is because I love the whole. I know it's just crazy. But it's the family aspect. No matter how ridiculous it is, but it's always about the inner story to where family who sticks up for family.
I think
we're all there for each other. But that's my excuse of why I love the Fast and Furious franchise. Yeah, it went from something that can maybe happen to something that just will never happen in humankind.
But
it's because it's the family aspect. There's still story inside of that franchise. The story inside the franchise is why I love it. And I love the whole idea is there where it doesn't have to be your family. It's who you choose to be your family, and they're all your family. So that's why that's my number 4.
Well, and at the end of the day,
you still fucking kill each other and fucking shoot down helicopters and fucking jump across bridges and stuff for each other.
So I still haven't seen all of them, but I can promise you right now, there's not going to be a single Fast and Furious movie that I could go watch that is going to be worse than the worst movie I've ever seen. It's going to be much better than the worst movie I've ever seen.
You always keep that mentality because Fast 11 is coming soon. And it's going to be the last one. It's the very last one. I promise.
It's going to be the last one.
And I promise you it's the last one. I'm cutting him off of the last one. Like, Vin, stop. You're 60 years old. Shut the fuck up. We're cutting this off. We're done.
Every time you think it's the last one, they come out with another one. Just look at the Expendables.
They have to do another one because they ended the Fast X with everybody blowing up and shit, and then Rock showed back up. And I was like, no, we didn't. No, just one more. And then they said the next one is the last one. I mean, hell, everybody 40 years of a fucking franchise.
Everybody said that after Expendables 3, and now there's a 4th one.
And that was god awful. And that's coming from the biggest Sylvester Stallone fan you'll ever fucking meet.
I know. That's because he was
only. No, I'd say he was in it for 5 fucking minutes. But if Sylvester Stallone wants to get involved in Fast and Furious, hell yeah, I'm down for Fast and Furious 43. Let's go.
You probably will. Like they're gonna start bringing all the action stars in. That's what they did with the Expendables.
Dumb shit. Yeah, dumb shit's like me gonna keep spending the money on
Yep.
it.
Get big
All
names.
right.
It's gonna draw money.
All right, so we're snaking this, and that means I do my number 3 next.
You got number 3.
All right. Yeah, ready for this one? My number 3 is Star Wars.
Okay. That's a little
like
that
I know. That's why I was like, "Are you ready for this one?" Star Wars is my number 3.
It's a little bit lower than I thought it was going to be.
I figured. That's why I was like, "Are you ready for this?" yeah. Ready.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense because whenever we play Star Wars trivia and like I start going into answers and
you wet my ass every goddamn fucking time,
and you can't really give me the answers that I'm
want Star Wars.
Give.
I love Star Wars, but I'm awful at Star Wars too. But the reason why it's number 3 is just because not every single movie in that, I'm going to say 9 movie. I'll just even say the Skywalker Saga, and not 11. Unless you want me to add the other 2, either way, it stays in the same.
Call it what you want.
The same. It stays in the same realm, though. I didn't love every single one of them.
You didn't. I didn't love. The Last Jedi can fuck off.
I know, right? Like, well, I didn't care for Phantom Menace. You tried to convince me to.
Yeah.
You told me your points to it, but I still don't like it. I don't like it.
To your point, though, fanboys at the end of the movie, they're sitting there like they finally get to go see the movie, and they look at each other. What if it sucks?
Right. And they were right. It sucked.
No, I disagree.
I know you like Episode 1, but you're a small minority there, sir.
I'll save my argument for later.
Okay, because I know that's coming up in your franchise.
Well, yeah. Anybody that knows me, that's coming up.
Yeah. But Last Jedi fucking destroyed like almost the franchise for me.
The Last Jedi almost killed the franchise.
The entire fucking Skywalker saga. Like it almost fucking killed
like
it.
J.J. Abrams gave them he gave them a whole outline for what to do the rest of the series. Or the rest
and he
of
was like, "No, I don't like it. I'm gonna change it and do this and do this."
Well,
and do this.
Yeah, like so he left that for them, and then Rian Johnson came in and tried to play the political game and do a bunch of bullshit. And guess what? He almost killed the fucking Star Wars franchise. That's pretty hard to do. That is the first movie I've ever walked out of an opening showing.
Did it.
That was the first movie I've ever walked out of an opening showing of on a Star Wars movie that I was like, I'm gonna have to see this movie again before I decide if I like it.
Yeah, we watched it together and both of us walked out. Me and you have never been more quiet with each other more than in our lives than walking out of that movie. Yeah. We kept making noises like,
I've never had less to say walking out of an opening showing than that movie.
And I was thinking, it's like, oh, we'll get to the truck and talk about it. Nope, we got in the truck. That was like, it was insane because we knew we were for sure that was going to be great because it was going to be the Empire.
It was going to be the Empire
new franchise.
Yeah, and it was
Disney fucked up by hiring a new actor to it,
and it was by your standards the Phantom Menace of the series.
I was authentic. But that's my number 3, though. We'll let you continue on your Star Wars rant when you get to your Star Wars. But Star Wars, I'm like you're surprised because Star Wars is my number 3.
Well, no, I get
That's
it. Like,
that's what brought us together and stuff like that.
so
But
they
there's
what
two
their
other franchises
but what their original plan was for the sequel trilogy was to have a different director every movie. And
yeah, I know they're supposed to have Trevor Romero or whatever.
Right, and Rian Johnson messed up so bad. They brought J.J. Abrams back. They brought J.J. Abrams back to try and fix it. Well, my number 3 probably won't surprise you. I never got my.
I'm thinking of 3 franchises right now.
Oh, I know. I never got my letter, but Harry Potter is number 3.
Harry Potter 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I had mine mixed up then. Because I know your 3 favorite franchises. I just didn't know what order they're in.
I know. So Harry Potter for me, so it was a series that I was still in grade school when it was coming out, and I went to the Scholastic Book Fair, and they had a 3-book series called Harry Potter. And I was sitting there, I was begging my parents to get it for me. I was begging them. And they said, okay, well, we'll get you the first one and see if you like it. Well, I liked it. So I ended up reading. If I had to guess,
did your family know what book that they were giving you?
No, it was not popular by any means at the time. So I wish I could tell you how many times I've read that first book.
Was it the Philosopher's Stone at the time, or
no? Philosopher's Stone was for European. It was released in Europe as Philosopher's Stone. It was released in America as the Sorcerer's Stone.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So if I had to guess how many times I've read that first book, it might be pushing triple digits.
Triple digits of how many times you read that book?
That's a fairly short book, but I literally read that book multiple times, and then every time anytime a new book would come out, I'd reread the entire series to lead up to the new book that came out. And then I've read the whole series multiple times since then.
That's a thick ass fucking book, bro. All right.
Oh, you if you just listen to the audiobooks, hell, just if you just want to watch the movies, you're probably talking about a 26 to 27 hour watch to watch all 8 movies. You're probably talking about somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 or 300 hours to read them.
Which movie, since this is on the screen, which Harry Potter movie is your favorite?
It's a toss-up between... There's 3 of them that it's a toss-up between. And one of the reasons that... remember, whenever the movies came out, the first movie was very, very close to the book. I was like, yes, we're going to get this. And then the second movie came out. It was a little bit further away. It's like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And then the third movie came out, and it was a little further away, but they were still just in general close. Then the fourth one came out, and they changed a lot. I was like, oh, well, the fourth book was pretty big. I get it.
Okay.
So, if I had to pick one out of the 8 movies, it would probably be the 6th one.
Not the one where the sparkly vampire dies?
The 6th one is the Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah, it had Robert Pattinson in it, right? Yeah. We're
No, that
talking
was the fourth
movies
one.
right now, by the way. It's not. We're not talking books right now. We're talking movies.
No, I know. But the fourth movie was when Robert Pattinson died,
Oh, the fourth one.
and you had the worst. Like, he's probably a good actor, but he did a terrible job of saying, "Oh, my son, oh God." He did a terrible job of acting like he could.
I've never heard you do that voice before ever in my life. I like that. All right. I need more animated Colonel like that. That was good. Because I was looking away when you did that, and I looked. I was like, "Who's talking right now?" And it was Colonel. Okay.
But so, Half-Blood Prince was where they really started talking about the real what should have, like, the real stuff about Harry Potter. Like, started bringing in the Horcruxes, started bringing all this, like, and he got to go. He found out that the Voldemort diary was a Horcrux. He found out that, like, just so many things that was.
This is number 6,
explained.
right?
So many things were explained in that movie that made the whole series really what you were like. Why you love the series.
Right. All right. Well, that's Harry Potter's your number 3. Well, I'm very curious on your tune 1, but now it's your turn to do number 2. That means you get to do the very last number 1. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, number 2 for me is Middle Earth. I'm waiting for you to understand what Middle Earth means.
Lord of the Rings, Hobbit.
Yeah.
Hobbit of the Rings, the Lord of the Hobbits.
So, Lord of the Rings, so I grew up, the first time I got introduced to J.R.R. Tolkien was The Hobbit. Great book, loved it. And then they came with Lord of the Rings. Like, I used to watch the cartoon that they came out with, which is awful, by the way, but I loved it. Like, I got to watch the shit. The Hobbit was a book. The Lord of the Rings was 3 books. So,
Hobbit was 1 book?
Correct. So, like, the Lord of the Rings, each movie of the Lord of the Rings was its own book. But The Hobbit was a book that they split into 3 movies, which I understand why they did, but, like, that let them put a whole lot more into the movie of what was in the book. But the one thing about that entire Middle Earth series that frustrates me about their movies is not one of them referenced or put into the movie Tom Bombadil. But you know what did put Tom Bombadil in? The Rings of Power series.
Oh, well, there you go. They keep giving you. Have you number 2? Right, we're on my number 2. Yes.
Yes, we are at your number 2.
I don't think you would ever guess this ever.
We'll see.
You'll be honest if you would have guessed it or not.
I will.
My number 2 would be Planet of the Apes.
So that doesn't totally surprise me because I feel like you told me that you loved that series when we were at Frightman.
Love it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it's one of those ones.
I'm gonna get Kevin Durant because he's gonna be my first ever Planet of the Apes autograph that I ever get.
Right. Well, and you got the original trilogy, and you got the new trilogy, and like
that's the thing. It's like
the new trilogy makes me want to go watch the old trilogy and then come back and watch the new trilogy. But I mean, I've seen them all, but I haven't seen them in a while. Sorry, this is your movie. This is your franchise. Let's let you talk about it.
Well, I'll say that there's a total of 10 movies now, thanks to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Damn.
And it still counts as a franchise because the old school movies were 6. But the reason why I love it so much is the new trilogy now franchise, because King of Planet of the Apes also plays into the Dawn, Rise, and War of the Planet of the Apes that came out.
Yeah,
those new ones, like, I mean, I already love the old ones. I think Charles Hedden is a piece of shit. I don't give a shit about him. He can go fuck himself. But the reason why it's also number 2, yeah. But the reason it's number 2 is because the only movie I don't like in this 10 movie even franchise, if you want to call it that, it's is Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Never watched that one. That's a piece of shit. But this new trilogy,
is that like the Star Wars Holiday Special?
No, it's still part of the franchise. The Holiday Special wasn't a part of the franchise at all. Don't even start that. There's no Mala or whatever the fuck her name is. Yeah, but yeah. But the reason why I always liked the original Planet of the Apes franchise. I always have, because my dad was a big fan of him, so he showed them to me all the time. But the reason why I love it so much even more now is this new franchise with Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis being Caesar. Like, I'm telling you, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is easily one of the greatest movies of all time. Like,
I haven't seen. I don't know if I've seen any of the new Planet of the Apes.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody has seen them. Like a lot of people have seen them because they make a lot of money in the box office, but nobody celebrates them. Nobody celebrates them.
They intrigue me a lot. Like, I want to watch all of the new ones, but I feel like I should watch all of the old ones again first. Like, because let's be honest, one of the big reveals of the first Planet of the Apes, whenever they're walking up and they see the Statue of Liberty.
The Statue of Liberty. God damn you all to hell. Yeah, that one. And then the sequel to that one is the one that nobody ever needs to watch ever in their life because it's a goddamn fucking dumpster fire. But all the other movies are good.
Okay.
All the other, but I mean, the modern day ones, though,
I'm gonna watch it.
But the modern day ones, though, where start out,
I feel like they're all.
With
I feel like they're all pretty good. James Franco's in it.
He's in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
Is he an ape or is he a human?
No, he's a human. He's taking care of Caesar. He's part of Caesar's birth.
Gotcha.
Hail Caesar. Like, and I also wanted to even bring this franchise into, because I know you haven't seen the new franchise yet.
Well, I know, but like, it's one that I've wanted to see for a while. It falls down my list of priorities to watch.
Well, I am uppercutting it to the top. You need to watch them. All 4 of them now, the modern day ones. So you got
Kevin Durant's in it. So like
Rise, Dawn, War, and Kingdom. And Kevin Durant was awesome.
Like Kevin Durant is like one of the top 2 people I met last time I was a Frightmare. Like,
and we were all bitching about him being a fill-in
for Warwick. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, this fucking guy.
Literally, he was one of my favorite people to meet. He fell just short of Michael Ironside, though.
And we forgot. I mean, we didn't realize how much Kevin Durant has done, let alone the Planet of the Apes movies he did.
Oh, absolutely!
Many goddamn movies.
Whenever we saw that he was coming, I was like, oh, well, that doesn't replace Warwick. And then I was like, started looking up some of the stuff he'd done. He's like always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Like, he is always He's always a not main character, but he's in so many movies and he does a great job in all of them.
The Mexican dude that he's cellmates with and Butterfly Effect that tells him to prove the Sigmata is Kevin Durant. the French Canadian. Yeah, it's Kevin Durant. He plays a fucking Mexican in Butterfly Effect.
Holy cow! Like,
yeah,
Kevin Durant, like, how he's not won something, like, or gotten more main parts. I don't know how.
Yeah, I mean, I love Planet of the Apes. Like, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is my favorite out of all 8 movies. It is a fucking masterpiece.
Well,
The reason why it's number 2 instead of number 1 is because I think Beneath the Planet of the Apes sucks. And so my point is, my number 1 is going to be to where I love every movie in the franchise. So
right. My number 1 is the Wars, the Star Wars.
The Wars. So I love about you. The Wars.
Yeah, Bubba. So I'll bring this up.
We already talked about it for a minute, but
so yeah, but like I have one biological child, and it is a boy. He is a boy, and his name is Luke.
What was he named after?
Well, there was a lot of discussion that went into it. Like, Luke was also a biblical name, but he's also the name of what I would call close to my favorite character in cinematic history.
You got me Chris Farley in this shit right now. Okay,
I know. Like, he might be my favorite character in cinematic history is Luke Skywalker.
Really? I figured you'd been a Han guy.
I get it, but Luke.
But Luke, it's just
and one of the
do you have a burden against your dad? Fuck you, Dad.
No, but like, one of my favorite things that I got to do after we decided to name him Luke, it was not my decision only, it was a joint decision. But once we decided to name him Luke, one of my favorite things ever to be able to do was right after he was born, first thing I said to him,
Luke, I'm your father. Sad I missed that.
Well, you weren't going to see it anyway because it was a pretty intimate.
Well, I get that.
Thing with me and my wife.
But I understand that, you fucking retarded asshole. I get that. You
know what's funny though?
But I can be like, technically, you said no, I am your father. Blah, 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 blah.
If my last name would have been Walker,
my name would have been Sky.
My son's first name would have been Luke, and his middle name would have been Sky.
What if it would have been a girl? Still Luke. Your name's still Luke, bitch.
It'd have been Leia. It'd have been Leia.
Leia Skywalker? No, you got to name her Luke. Luke.
No, we actually had a plan.
So, Walker. We've been on this for a while.
With Star Wars, like I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I loved Episode 1. And Jar Jar Binks, everybody hates him. But I thought it was a good comic relief.
Oh, I love Jar Jar too.
Do you? Do you?
Yeah, dude. I do. I definitely do. He was my saving grace for Episode 1. Otherwise, Episode 1 was the worst shit.
I wouldn't call him saving grace, but like, there was a lot of fan theories that came out later. I don't know what truth there is to them, but like, there's a lot of interesting theories out there about Jar Jar being the.
You remember your wife hates Jar Jar, right?
Oh, I know. But I forget if it's like he would have been the Sith Lord.
All
All
right.
right. So the one caveat I will throw in. So the one caveat I will throw in with Star Wars being my favorite franchise is I know everybody kind of seems to have one movie they hate. We kind of talked about it a little earlier. The Last Jedi can go just die in a field.
But it's still your number one.
It is. Rian Johnson
It meant that much. It meant that much to you.
He tried his damnedest to kill that franchise.
He tried, but he didn't.
And
I mean, he made us quiet as fuck leaving the theater. But
yeah, like we left the theater not ecstatic like we should have been.
No, we were so quiet. I'm like, what do I even say right now?
How do you bring in trying to free animals from a casino on a planet?
Like, what the fuck was that?
Like,
he doesn't understand Star Wars, obviously.
Yeah, he should not have been the director of that movie. And the best thing I've ever heard in my life was the trilogy that he was greenlit to go was canceled. I've seen, I think, all of the cartoons except for there's a new one that came out that's just a weird animation. I don't like it. It's like with DuckTales. DuckTales was a great animation, great series. They came out with a new DuckTales, and it's a weird animation. I'll never watch
that. DuckTales video game was the best. It was awesome. DuckTales.
Woo!
How did you trail off into DuckTales? I'm trying to get you to just like you're talking Star Wars, and I'm letting you finish your Star Wars shit while I wait for my number one. And you're like, oh, some DuckTales.
Because that is the one. That is the one that, like, literally what we grew up on with DuckTales was great animation. Now the new one is just like fucking block. It's fucking blocky shit. And
how dare they? That's not part of the goddamn episode right now, bro.
Okay,
we're not talking DuckTales. We're trying to finish this episode. That's 3.5 hours into it.
I'm gonna try and stay on task.
Let me give my number one.
All right.
And I'm going to keep that part in. The episode might only be an hour long, but they're going to hear me yelling saying 3.5 hours later, we're talking DuckTales. Now, damn it.
Put me out of my misery.
My number one franchise is Rocky.
Okay.
Love me some Rocky. There's not a single Rocky movie I do not like. People shit on Rocky 5. I love that. Teaching Tommy the machine gun. Let's fucking figure out and then he's gonna turn on Rocky and it's gonna fight him in the street by pushing over Polly. One of the greatest Rocky lines of all time is, you push him down while you try pushing me down. I love Rocky.
Rocky's a great series.
So in my top 5 franchises, that's the only franchise that's ever actually gave me emotions, like have made me cry and stuff. Like you got the death of Adrian and Rocky Balboa. You got him dying of cancer in Creed. Love Rocky.
So I've not seen any of the Creed movies. I want to see them. Like, there's 3 of them now, right?
Yeah, there's 3 Creed movies. There's 3 Creed movies.
So those I've wanted to see. I just have not gotten them.
But you've seen the 6 Rocky movies, including Rocky Balboa, though. You've seen Rocky Balboa.
Absolutely. I mean, you got Rocky 1 through 5, and you got Rocky Balboa.
And then you got Rocky Balboa. You got the infamous dialogue from Rocky Balboa. Rocky Balboa is, like, part 6 is my second favorite in the franchise after Apollo or after Rocky 2. Like that's where the famous
when he finally won. When he finally won.
Yeah, he won in part 2, but
was it 3 that Apollo died in?
No, he died in 4.
Died in 4. Okay.
Yeah, he fought Mitch T in 3. That's when Mick died.
The street fighting
stuff. Mick, Mick, don't die, Mick. Oh God damn! No, waterworks. Yeah.
I will tell you, Rocky is one of my.
It's one you forget about.
It's one way. It is absolutely one I forget about, but it is a great series.
It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. About how much you can take and keep moving forward.
So I didn't
That's how winning is done. It's the end of the episode.
Do we have an outro?
No, I didn't have an outro planned. So our drunken asses can just be like, thanks for hanging out. Let us know your top 5 franchises.
Absolutely.
And what you agree with or disagree with.
Put those in the comments.
Yeah, we disagreed and agreed to disagree on things. So let us know. Without that, I have been Faye. That has been Colonel.
I've been Colonel.
That has been Colonel. And this has been the Sunset Screens. Thank you very much. Good night, fuckers.
Love you guys.